Let's do it. This is the one I picked, but first we gotta do the fucking Black Lives Matter one. I hope the audio was good.
To share with you. According to Pew Research, the net worth of white families in 2013 was $141,000. For black families, it was $11,000, even less than the...
Hold on. Let's just take a moment to appreciate this stat at face value. Listen to that again.
...thousand. For black... things that I wanted to share with you. According to Pew Research, the net worth of white families in 2013 was $141,000. For black families, it was $11,000, even less than the $19,000.
Holy fuck. The average value of a black family is less than 1/10 that of a white family. Holy shit. I thought it was a margin of like 1/7, but that's worse than 1/10. That's like 1/12. Holy fucking shit. That's so goddamn bad. All right, now let's listen to Ben Shapiro tell us how this is a good thing.
It was in 2007. According to economist Edward Wolff of the University of...
You hear that, by the way? Listen again.
For black families, it was $11,000, even less than the $19,000 it was in 2007.
Even less than the $19,000 it was in 2007. That means the average value of a black family home has dropped by between 35 and 40% in a decade. When did this come out? Yeah, 2017. In one decade, nearly a 50% drop in the value of the home and family of black Americans. Holy shit. Holy shit. Can we fucking listen, if we weren't dealing with America, if we were talking about some kind of fucking fantasy society, like, I don't know, what's your favorite, Aragon? Or no, fucking Lord of the Rings, because everyone's heard of that shit, okay? And you were like, oh yeah, we've got the Gondor. Yeah, the Gondor folks, their average, they're 200 shillings to the average family, but the Rohan folk... about 14 shillings. If that was presented in like the context of a fantasy medium, we would instantly think systemic oppression, institutional discrimination. Why the fuck is there such a wealth disparity between these two communities? Like, if we take out the fact that people are fucking racist against black people and have all these pre-built assumptions and explanations as to why they're getting shit on in this country, we would instantly assume fucking foul play. But okay, all right.
According to economist Edward Wolff of the University of New York, excluding vehicles and other durables, the median black family worth is just $1,700. Well,
$1,700. The average black family worth, excluding like vehicles and the other stuff, $1,700. Guys, that's less than I made this month on Twitch. I made less this month on Twitch than the average black family worth is, excluding vehicles and homes and shit. What the fuck? That's so fucked. Holy shit. Like, I'm not trying to hamper on this or anything. I just want us to really fucking reflect on how bad that is. The civil rights movement fucking failed, dude. We got segregation ended, like, in a legal sense, but, like, it still continues. In every empirical sense, segregation never really ended. How you know? What are you asking me? Oh, I said I made less? Oh, my bad. No, I've made more than 17. No, okay, well, obviously I wouldn't have made the fucking point if I made less than 1,700. That wouldn't really illustrate the point I was trying to make. No, I've made more than 1,700 off Twitch this past month. How should we fix it? Let's let Ben Shapiro tell us.
40% of black families have zero or negative wealth. White family worth, in terms of financial worth, is 69 times more than that of black families.
The sex number! It's the sex number, guys! 69 times! 69 times! The civil rights movement fucking failed, okay? It fucking failed, dude. They got rid of the legal segregation, but then we implemented financial and civic policies that ruined black neighborhoods. If we can't keep them out of our schools by law, then we'll just give them their own schools and then ruin them financially so they have no chance of moving into nicer neighborhoods and entering the white schools. Okay, we should actually get into the fucking video.
Given this disparity, how can you argue that racism is not a driving factor in income inequality?
Because it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture.
Yes! Ben Shapiro! Oh, yes! Oh, man. I would expect nothing less from Ben. I fucking hate the Browns, Shapiro. Oh, yes. Get him! Get him! Hey, when you're looking at family worth, Mr. Benjamin, the average black family has like 1.6 cents for every dollar the white family has. Do you think they're making any... No, it's culture. It's because they're stupid and their culture is stupid. Oh, man. Turn up the video a wee bit. Unfortunately, I cannot. The audio is a smidge scuffed. I'll try and be quiet when the video is playing. But... oh, my God. Because the thing is, listen, and I need to reiterate this. Ben Shapiro does not believe what he just said. Nobody at this level of discourse is stupid enough to believe that a disparity of 69 times can be explained away by cultural differences. There is, in history, no culture which leads to that degree of economic marginalization. Like, what culture would you need to have? This would be a culture where, like, at 16, like, every growing young boy and girl is given their own gun to shoot themselves in the kneecaps with. It's like a rite of passage. And then, bleeding out, they have to crawl to the nearest road and run alongside it. They have to wear all black clothing, and they have to crawl along the fucking, across the lanes and stay in there for 30 minutes. And if they don't get hit by a car, that's their rite of passage. They get to live to be an adult. This is the level of cultural stupidity you would need to engage in to see disparities even remotely fucking close to what we're looking at here. Ben Shapiro doesn't believe this. Ben Shapiro is one of two things. He's either aware of the fact that there is institutional discrimination against black people in this country, which is a possibility. It's totally possible that he knows that and he's just lying. He makes a lot of money being a little fucking conservative cuckboy. Or he thinks that black people are genetically inferior. I'm leaning towards a combination of both. I think he knows that there's racism, but he believes it's justified because black people are stupid. Let's go, Ben.
And when you have a culture that doesn't...
oh, yeah, let's get the fucking black woman's reaction, too. Absolutely. Me too.
And when it has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. And when you have a culture that doesn't... And when it... You know what? Explain to me. You explain to me why black kids aren't graduating high school. Explain that one to me.
I wonder why. Hey, did you... Hey, Benjamin Shapiro, did you know that not graduating high school means that on average you will have at most a disparity of perhaps 1 to 2 times less income than somebody who graduates college? Like, if you don't graduate high school and that means your average income is only going to be like at most half or maybe 1/3 of that of a college graduate, not 1/69th what you would make as a college graduate. He knows that this has nothing to do with this. Like, well, of course it's related to the subject. Black dropout rates in high school have to do with the quality of the education, the availability of after-school programs, the preponderance of single-parent homes, that kind of stuff. But he knows that doesn't, answer the fucking question. There are only two possible explanations. Benjamin Shapiro is racist, or he is a liar. I believe he is both.
Explain to me why black kids are shooting each other in rates significantly higher than whites are shooting each other. Explain to me why 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the murder. Explain to me why the number of black kids in prison, not for innocent reasons, not for walking down the street and getting pulled into a prison, is so high. Explain, if it has nothing to do with culture, explain to me why the single motherhood rate in the black community jumped from 20% to 70% in the same course of time that the civil rights movement has made such tremendous strides. Is America more racist now than it was in 1960? And if it is, please explain to me how that happened.
I love all of the false equivalencies and bad arguments he just made. For one, he just listed a bunch of things that absolutely relate to socioeconomic status. Single-parent households, dropping out of high school, crime levels, all of these things are correlated more to income than they are to race, or at least heavily to income in addition to being tied to race. All of these are explicable socioeconomically. And then for two, and I really fucking like this, he demands that the people in he's about to be arguing with explain like alternate causes for every single fucking conceivable explanation there could be for the wealth disparity between black and white people before you can get Benjamin Shapiro to even consider the idea that there might be institutional discrimination. Like you have to throw down against everything that he has to say before he'll even answer the fucking question. And then thirdly, he frames this dishonestly by saying at the end, is America more racist now than it was back then? No, Ben. It probably isn't as racist, but that does not mean that blacks have fared better economically. Those two things are related, but not necessarily causatively related on a one-to-one scale.
So what do I think those riots are? I think the depravity, I think they're thugs, and I think if you really want to make a difference.
Okay, so I assume this lady's the conservative too, because we've got two black people on the left, and then we've got... and then we've got a halfling and some white bitch over here on the right. So, okay, again, like, thugs is an obvious racial dog whistle. Like, I don't need to tell you guys that.
Thurgood Marshall, who grew up just 2 blocks from there, did such a thing, who was a contemporary of Martin Luther King.
I have no idea what that just meant or how that was relevant to the discussion in the slightest.
Now I'd like to skip over to Dr. Seacrest.
I look at the Baltimore uprisings as more than just riots, right?
Wait, did somebody discuss the Baltimore riots? Why did that part get cut out of the video? There was a noticeable jump in the video, but I assume that had something to do with the audience getting to quiet down or the announcer or something. I didn't realize that they had actually skipped a fucking discussion point. Okay, are we going to talk about the Baltimore riots? Let's fucking do it. Why not?
I hate the idea when you say thugs and riots, right? White people riot as well. When y'all win Super Bowls 2 years in a row, y'all get off the hook. Don't make it seem like it's just Baltimore getting upset. So my 30-second answer is I feel the frustration of what's happening in the community, and I think it's a symptom. The uprisings are a symptom of a pressure that's been unaddressed for too long.
Okay, I have to wonder what her rhetorical strategy is here, because the way she said y'all white people, that sounds like an affectation of like black American dialect. And I wonder, given by the background, 770 KTTVH conservative talk radio, which makes me believe that she's dealing with a hostile audience here. Probably an audience that hates black people, because all conservatives hate black people. You have to sign a form. So I wonder if her strategy to deliberately invoke those dialectic affectations, I wonder if that's part of a strategy on her part to deliberately like overwhelm the audience with blackness or to antagonize them, or I wonder if maybe she's nervous. I'm not sure. I wish I had like this without it being cut up. I'm interested in seeing the strategy she's going for here.
I'm offended by the language of uprising applied to people who are breaking into other black people's stores and looting them.
First of all, you disingenuous piece of shit. No, you're not. You're not offended. You're offended by that. I'm sorry. Do you have an emotional investment in the sanctity of the term uprising in the same way a black person might feel about the word thug? No, you dishonest little cunt. You little fucking whiny little bitch, baby. Ooh. Somebody forgot to put on his big boy pants today because Benjamin's busting all of his fucking whiny baby moves. Also, what the fuck does breaking into stores or the race of the people whose stores you're breaking into have anything, like in what way exactly does that relate to the term uprising and its definition? Whoops, that is not the play button.
This is a lack of values, and people who are
lack of values, again, another dog whistle suggesting that through either black genetic inferiority or through black culture, they are not capable of recognizing that it's wrong to steal. as though theft was entirely a product of moral failing and not a product of socioeconomic circumstances. I wonder what Benjamin over here would have to say about like the fucking Boston Tea Party, for example. Do you think that he would go up and he'd be like, "Oh goodness,
You're being disingenuous about Ben's ideology due to your bias. Debate me."
No, that's okay. Maybe later. I love you. Thanks for the $1. What the fuck was I saying?
Destroying private property, destroying cop cars, in an uprising against what exactly? Against the black police chief, against a mostly minority police force, against the black mayor, against the black president, against the black attorney general?
Look, guys, we got him. Now black people can't riot without and express discontent with the society because we surrounded them with black police and we have a black president. At least we did at the time of the Baltimore riots. So now they can't. Now they're fucked. Can you just fucking imagine if you're like an organizer and you're like for black people and you're like doing a fucking riot or whatever, and you're like, yeah, fucking, we'll show people how mad we are. This will get people to pay attention to the economic disenfranchisement we suffer because white media does not give a fuck about the problems black cultures face, the black fucking ghettos in America face, unless you make some fucking headlines. And then like, oh shit, they sicked black cops on us. Now we can't keep rioting, or we're just doing more black on black violence. Fuck! They got us! We can't do it anymore. What a disingenuous piece of shit. What the fuck?
Against the entirely, against a city council that is 9 of 15 are black and all 15 are elected Democrats. What is the uprising against? What is it seeking to achieve?
Literally none of this has anything to do with the veracity, efficacy, or legitimacy of an uprising.
I still don't see what exactly the riots are seeking to achieve. Bottom line is, this is all, it all could be boiled down to just act like a mensch. Act like a human being.
Like a mensch?
It all could be boiled down to just act like a mensch. Act like a human being.
Nice job, by the way, saying black people aren't acting like human beings when they riot. Fuck, man. Can you... So, for one, mensch, using German terminology and saying that black people need to act more like mensch, something that... And by the way, this is not me acting all fucking triggered SJW or anything here. Do you really think that it's a coincidence that when discussing the moral failing of black people, he invokes the term mensch, colloquially in Germanic or in Germanic Nazism, used to describe the idyllic sort of Aryan identity, and then says they need to act like human beings? God damn. This isn't even a fucking dog this is just an actual whistle. He just has an actual whistle around his fucking neck. I can't stand it when people suggest to me, like, listen, Ben Shapiro has some yikesy fucking libertarian talking points for him, but he's not racist. Yeah, of course Ben Shapiro's fucking racist. Ben Shapiro hates black people. Right before he came out here, Ben Shapiro's fucking manager, PR manager, like hype man, was like, all right, Ben. He's like looking directly down to talk to Ben. All right, Ben, listen. Okay, Ben, you're gonna get out there. You're gonna be talking to some blacks. You're gonna be talking to some blacks today. We need to get you in the mood. We need to get you in the zone. So he brings out a black child they stole from a local family. Here you go, just let it out. And Ben just kicked the shit out of that kid for like 30 minutes, for like an hour. He was late to this fucking conservative talk radio meetup, okay? And that's what Benjamin needs to do to get in the zone before having this discussion. This is actually true. It was in a documentary somewhere.
Honestly, it's not useful to riot, it's not useful to break things, it's not useful to throw rocks at people. And the idea that we're supposed to sort of correlate your level of outrage.
I like, by the way, indicating usefulness is in any way a reflection of their humanity. You need to act like human beings. It's just not very practical to riot. A human being would do something more practical. That's not what he's suggesting.
To the 30 seconds on
the
this
last
one,
sentence. The last sentence.
Yeah.
The idea that we're supposed to correlate your level of outrage.
Hold on. The point behind Ben's argument is there's a much lower rate of male parentage, child legitimacy. There are a host of strong antisocial correlations with the absence of a father. Shiva's right foot. Do you sincerely believe that the entirety of Benjamin's fucking argument here is that there are more fucking single parent households in the black community, so they need to act like men should act like human beings, and they're a bunch of thugs, and their uprising is useless. We have a black president. Like, do you really think that? Do you really think that his dismissing the existence of any kind of institutional discrimination is reflective of him believing like that to be the sole reason? Come on. Don't be fucking disingenuous with me. Pretty sure that's where he's going. It doesn't matter that's where he's going. He's already said things that are blatantly racist. Here, let's fucking pay attention. Wait, do we have like unironic Nazis in chat right now? Somebody just said compare Jewish culture to black culture and their success. Kazokata, what exactly do you mean by that? Wait, do we have like Nazis in here? What the fuck is going on? Oh shit, my title worked. Oh, we got some fucking chuds in here. Do we not have any mods? Am I the only mod that's active right now? Salivala, where the fuck? Salivala, hyena. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Whoever cries racism first is usually the racist? What gargantuan brains we have here. Change category? It's on just chatting. Jesus Christ. Cheese Bell, you're up. I can trust you. Cheese Bell. There you go. Just fucking murder him. Just fucking... Just fucking blat. Let the bodies smack. Yeah, leftist tech support. You get it too. All right, that's it. That's enough mod handouts. Jewish people endure more in history. All right, I'm getting Kazakata here. We've got some. I like this, by the way. Notice, by the way, how when I fucking get Benji up in here, we have some actual fucking Nazis who jump in who jump over here in chat. All right, we're going hard in chat tonight, my friends. Okay, don't ban Civic Knox. They're memeing. Mock Reddit threads and drama posting. Okay, gotcha. Missed the mods. Did I miss Ben too? Nope, we're on the Ben. All right, listen, mods. I need you to get on that shit a little bit harder. We've got like Nazis in chat. All right, let's get back to it.
Yeah, the last sentence.
All right.
It's not useful to break things. It's not useful to throw rocks at people. And the idea...
Once again, so he says they need to act like mensch. They need to act like human beings. Pretty fucking dog whistly. And then he goes on to say that these things aren't efficacious.
that we're supposed to sort of correlate
let's
your
hold
level of
off on the
outrage.
idea. I'm going to stick to the 30 seconds on
Yeah,
this
the last
one. Charles?
sentence. The last sentence.
Yeah.
The idea that we're supposed to correlate your level of outrage with a certain level of justification. In other words, the more outraged you are and the more angry you are, the more justified you must be, is absolute nonsense.
What? That's not even the claim the woman made. She never said that the angrier you are, the more justified your protest is. She never made that claim. What? Okay. Nice straw man, big brain Shapiro.
Then, since the
Bad Apple 999, I'm extending you a special invitation. Would you like to debate, friend? Hold on. No, the Discord fucking invite link doesn't work right now. It's just only I can offer this claim. Bad Apple 999, do you want to debate me right now? Because if not, you're getting banned. Bad Apple 999, come on, do it quickly. Debater ban, Grey Windex, you're a Nazi and you're boring. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, he's probably in a fucking library. At his fucking 9:47 p.m. PST job. No one has yet? What the fuck is that a response to? No one has yet? Oh, no one has destroyed Ben. Ban lol. Yep, just take it. Just take that ban. Oh, just accept it. Just let it wash over your face. You stupid cunt.
Proving Ben's point and refuse to debate.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the buck, by the way. Idiot. All right, let's keep it going. That's what we need. We need more fucking Nazis giving me money to tell me that I'm an idiot. I'm here for that. That's good praxis.
The issue of disparity has come up a number of times. When does disparity not indicate racism?
Level of effort.
Statistical disparity. You know, for example, overwhelmingly men commit crimes more than women, but we don't say that the Justice Department is sexist. So, is there a line that you draw for yourself, or is there?
Traga 1992. No, he wasn't banned for asking if he could debate me. He was banned for being a Nazi. None of the people in chat right now, none of the people watching, none of the people who enjoy Ben Shapiro, not one of you could come even close to beating me in a debate. It's not possible. Ben Shapiro is a... Well, actually, I'm not going to say he's stupid, but he appeals to stupid people. Happy to have you here, though.
Some way that you interpret statistical disparity and you determine that that is not a racial disparity, it's something else. Well, we can return to it. That's okay too. Ben, do you want to?
Yes, it's called evidence of racism. When there is no evidence of racism, it's probably not racism.
There is overwhelming evidence of racism in American society. I don't know what to tell you. This is this is academic totality. Literally every field of study that pertains to society acknowledges the existence of racism. The Justice Department acknowledges the existence of racism. The Supreme Court, the President, everybody acknowledges the existence of racism. The only people who don't acknowledge the existence of racism are people who make money by saying that racism doesn't exist. That's it. Right? Okay.
When there is actual evidence of racism, it's probably racism. And the fact that everybody jumps from there's inequality and therefore there is inequity, just because there's inequality does not mean there was inequity.
A 69 times difference in average family wealth between black and white families, by the way. I don't think the president acknowledges racism. No, at the time that this was filmed, Barack Obama was the president.
But there has to be racism. You can't say there's no racism.
Without evidence?
Oh my god, that guy has a British accent? I guess I'm racist because I didn't expect that. Holy shit, that one came at me from fucking nowhere.
There was inequity.
But there has to be racism. You can't say there's no racism.
Without evidence?
No. I'm just saying that I don't know which animal. Maybe we're talking about dogs or something. I'm talking about human beings, and I'm like, human beings are most likely going to have racial prejudices. I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I don't know. I don't come on my. I don't.
Getting the fucking booing. It's understandable though. This guy is not making a good argument right now. Oh.
I will debate you on Ben's ideology.
I'm only human, guys. I'm only fucking human. Let's do it. Kazoka, this is your lucky day. Oh, boy. Absolutely. Oh, shucks. I love this shit. Let's do it. I'm getting you a personalized fucking invite to this here Discord. Ooh, never in my life have I been more excited. Here you go. Get in here. Beck 9i, you're on the fucking, you're not the one who just gave me $2 to shit talk me, okay? You come up next. If we're doing this, we're fucking doing this. Join that Discord and then join the voice channel that says come here to debate with Vosh. I'm Vosh, by the way. That's what we're doing. Absolutely, let's do it. Oh boy. Never before in my life have I been more excited. Okay. Let's go. I'm a giddy little kid right now. Kotel Montu, your idiocy is now being broadcasted live to more than 200 people. My name is Vosh. How do you feel right now?
You know, very nice way to start this. I'm here being civil, and for some reason you banned me.
I'm so sorry about banning you, my friend. You gotta understand. Generally speaking, when I see people defending the Benjamin down there in chat, I have every reason to believe they're Nazis. So, you know, I've got a pretty strict policy on those. 1 sec. All right, hit me the fuck up. Any topic you want, any aspect of Ben Shapiro that you find pleasant. I don't know, his sonorous voice lulls you to whatever you're here for.
I believe he's right on black culture in general, as you see, like rap is extremely prevalent in our society, and as we've gone on through the decades, you can see a mass degradation. Sorry, I have a cold.
No worries, friend.
But you can see a mass degradation in our just policies, our Roe v. Wade and other policies that have been passed to the Supreme Court. And I think eventually, I think it is a big part in, because we have this mass conglomerate of people, that eventually it degrades society. Look at the Romans. After mass immigration, you could see just the fall of it. I mean, before it was a strong, united society. I mean, excuse me?
I didn't say anything. You okay, friend?
Is there a reason? Yeah, I'm sorry. Is there a reason you're laughing?
What? Oh no, I'm slowly being radicalized by your values. Please, continue.
I mean, if you look at Jewish culture throughout the centuries, they've been ostracized through more than 146 countries, and they're still one of the top earners in just major society, Western society. But you look at black culture, they've only been, I would say, I won't deny that they've had some discrimination issues, but you compare Jewish cultures, the Jewish people that have been, radically killed and terminated, and you compare American blacks who stay here and, they complain, but they don't do anything about it. And yeah, that's just proving Ben's point. They just go to this gangster lifestyle that they like. They all they want to do is just interact in sports. And if you look at Jewish people, they picked professions that
sounds like even your body is having trouble digesting these points you're throwing my way.
Disprove any of my arguments? Can you look at? I mean, this is history. Can you disprove any of these arguments that I'm pacing right now? Because they've been doctors, they've been lawyers throughout the centuries. They picked secular jobs that they can use throughout all different types of societies. And then when you look at black people, what's their major cultural impact? Basketball? I'm getting confused why you're laughing at this.
I'm not laughing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm looking at your stream right now. You act like I can't see you.
You're right. I'm sorry. Let me take this more seriously. So let's get started, I guess. So you didn't really make arguments so much as you did talk, because arguments are usually supported with evidence or some kind of
the argument is
rational.
That Jewish people have been ostracized.
Wait, we're talking about Jewish people?
Well, I'm talking about Ben's point about culture, about how the difference between Jewish culture and black culture. I mean, he's coming from a Jewish culture perspective, and when he's looking at black culture that really hasn't evolved over the centuries.
I see.
And you compare to Jewish culture that have been ostracized through different countries and have been mass murdered, and now and you can see now that they're lawyers. Now that they're in the high society, while blacks are still in the lowest society in America. So what I'm arguing is I'm trying to figure out why you believe that his culture argument isn't valid.
Do you think black people are just kind of dumb?
I genuinely believe all people are created equal. It's just that some people are slower than the others.
Oh, what do you mean by slower?
I mean, compare Europe in the 1500s to Africa in the 1500s, and that's just the biggest indication of what I mean by slower.
Yeah, so they're kind of dumb, right?
I see what you're trying to do.
No. I'm just taking your views to their logical conclusion. It's okay, friend. Listen, I'm not gonna judge you. I already think you're a racist. You don't have to like hide your power level with me. Just say it. Just say we can have this argument so much more honestly and so much more freely if you would just say what you believe, which is to say you think black people are just kind of stupid and everything they do is shit, and they're just kind of shit, and their culture is shit, and that's why they're doing worse than basically everyone else in America. You can tell me this is a safe space here.
No, this is not what I'm actually trying to point. The point is, like, blacks were the first people, you know, scientifically, we've stated that blacks are like the beginning society. And so, you know, I mean, they've branched out and moved to different countries. So of course they're not stupid. That's not what I'm trying to point out. What I'm trying to point
just
out
a little
is that
slow.
they've got no, I'm just saying that they haven't really done much compared to Europeans. I mean, like look at, I mean, I'm not understanding what you don't get.
I know. I mean, I get it. We both get it, right? That's the reason why Africa is such a shithole and always has been, right? Just the blacks are just kind of little, you know. It's all right.
Look at Greece and Italy and compare that to like 870 Ghana or Shanghai. I mean, I think it's more of just an inherent like laziness to branch out. I think it's more they've picked one type of culture and they've just kept at it. They've never had like this idea of just expanding on it, like
so you
Europeans
think
have.
You think they're inherently lazy?
It's just, you know, it's like I don't know, like how the rabbit and the tortoise. You know what I mean? Like the rabbit, it's fast and it basically can win the race, but the tortoise, but it gets lazy at the end and it just doesn't want to, like it thinks it's proved itself, but it really hasn't until it's won the race.
Are you saying that black people are faster than white people, but then they get lazy at the end and then the white people win?
No. Can we please keep it like I'm not joking with you. I'm not trolling you. I don't know why you're continuing to just.
I'm not laughing.
You are.
No, I'm not.
No, all I'm saying is this. I mean, look, man, just go online right now and look up 1500s England compared to 1500s I don't know, any sub-Saharan African culture.
Do you know of many sub-Saharan African cultures?
Yes, there was the Ethiopians.
Okay.
There were Somalians. There was Mali. I mean, which at that point was pretty much broken up between Mali, Songhai, Air, and other like different small one state minors.
The Palestinians.
I'm talking about sub-Saharan Africa.
Damn! I tried to catch you. Okay. All right, maybe we can actually get started because this has been pretty fun. Okay, so leaving aside the fact that you think black people are worse than white people, maybe we can do a little bit to address sort of the fundamental argument that little Ben is positing in this video, and it is essentially that racism does not exist. Do you believe that racism doesn't exist?
No, because I mean I believe racism does exist because people are naturally racist. That's just our instinctual. It's ingrained in our DNA.
That's
it doesn't mean
wait. Do you know what DNA means? Like, do you know what DNA is?
I'm not talking about DNA in a literal sense. I mean just in our like a cultural DNA or just our instincts about the other.
Did you know that what we recognize as racism today, or what we recognize as race today, is actually a fairly modern construct. Back about, say, in Roman times, you clearly are a fan of Rome, conceptually. Did you know they didn't really have race as a concept? There were light and dark-skinned Romans, but they didn't really distinguish between the two. Maybe in a matter of heritage, perhaps, but the idea of race, it didn't really exist. They collaborated. To the Romans, you were either a Roman citizen or you were a barbarian, a foreigner. So even back then, even in this comparatively primitive stage of human development, the Romans did not seem to abide by this apparently DNA ingrained racial differentiation that you purport exists in humans.
Okay, but Europe wasn't as united as it was back then. Like we really didn't know the extent of like the New World or just the extent of Africa or I mean, we knew a little bit about Asia. We didn't know much about like the southeast areas or much of Japan. We knew more about Europe. So there was but look.
What does this?
Let me give
What
you
does
an
this have?
example.
What does this have to do with?
Let me give you an
my,
example.
Well, hold on, wait, really quickly. You just sort of sidestepped my question. You said that racism is inherent to the human condition, but not only is that not sociologically or anthropologically believed to be the case, but one of the societies that you supported when you were making your own arguments did not have racial divisions within itself. They had national divisions, Roman or barbarian, but not racial divisions. Do you think that the Romans were just really super enlightened and they sort of overcame that natural DNA ingrained racism?
No, I don't think like at that time there was a race issue. It's just they didn't know about. I mean, they knew about parts of Africa, but they didn't know about like the really much of the sub-Saharan African region.
So do you think that like racism in humans is like it's like a fucking deep-seated operative deep in our genome where it doesn't activate until we hear about the existence of Africa and then it activates, and that's why it didn't happen in Rome?
Dude, I can guarantee you've read studies that show that babies are born racist. When they see something that is not familiar to them, they get scared or they get or they get anxious. I'm pretty sure you've at least, I don't know if I'm pretty sure you've seen these studies.
There is a difference between a baby being born afraid of what it doesn't understand and a baby being born racist. If I was born a baby and I have white parents and I was birthed by a white doctor and I encountered a dark-skinned person for the first time, I might reasonably be a little bit confused. That is not the same as the institutional racism which fosters today. There's a difference between a baby being surprised that humans can have brown skin and an adult human being already understanding that and then assigning a bunch of differentiation between those two categories. Babies are not capable of racism because racism requires categorical differentiation, something babies can't do.
I mean, that really doesn't disprove my point when people are instinctually anxious of like something that's different than them.
No, instinctively anxious of things they don't understand, like somebody with a skin color they've never heard of before. I'm sure I was probably a little bit anxious the first time I saw a brown person. I'm white, after all, and I am now 25 years old, and I no longer get anxious around people who have different skin colors, because their skin color is just as natural as mine. If anything, brown people are more natural with their skin color than I am. Mine is maintained by an unwillingness to go outside.
No, because you're biologically white by your just. I mean, there's. I mean, ethnicity is real for a reason. There's people that are just biologically black and okay. Mm-hmm. There's people that are biologically white and people that are biologically Asian. Those are the three main ethnicities of society. So you can't just say that brown is more normal than white. That doesn't make sense.
I'm sorry, you're right. I'm sorry. That I figured saying that might trigger you. You do realize that racism as it exists in society is not the same as babies having an instinctual aversion towards things they don't understand, which includes people with skin colors they haven't seen before.
Okay, but compared to people that were born, raised, and had communities in the Caucasus Mountains to someone, and they first meet, someone down in the Middle East, the first time you're in this community, and you, by the generations and centuries, you only know this type of person, this skin color. But when you see someone else and you finally interact, of course there's going to be like all this, like, I don't know, that's how racism is formed. And it's not racism isn't like it's an inherently bad thing.
Whoa, hold on. For one, that's a stupid point. South Africa was an apartheid state for quite some time, and there was a tremendous amount of racial integration, at least among the lower classes there. It was not at all uncommon for black and white children or young adults or adults to mingle pretty commonly. They were not anxious of each other's skin colors in any way, shape, or form, and they were racist anyway. So that inherent anxiety of the unknown is not a component in racism.
Wait a minute. No.
Hold on.
The Dutch first arrived in South Africa. The first thing they were there in South Africa first. Then like there's the roaming tribes of Sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, that was actually
them away.
That was a little bit too stupid to not be a troll. Do you really believe that?
We have scientific evidence proof. You can. I mean, the history of the Afrikaners, where they were here. They discovered. I mean, maybe there were people that came and roamed, but they never stayed. They never made it a straight community as the Afrikaners.
Kind of like what we did to the Native Americans, right? Like we showed up and they didn't have buildings and aqueducts, so like it wasn't a big deal when we sort of pushed them out. Also, don't think that I'm missing the fact that earlier you said racism isn't necessarily a bad thing. Doesn't this go against Ben Shapiro's argument that there isn't racism in America?
Not in America, there's no racism, but in
wait.
parts
Are you
of the
American?
world, yes.
You just said racism isn't inherently a bad thing and that we're all born a little bit racist. How exactly, then, could there not be racism in America?
There's no governmental racism. There's no like systematic racism. That's what I mean. You can individually be racist, but like there's no system or government in place right now or in the past 60 odd years that has been inherently racist.
I see. Wait. So earlier question then. When I was trying to press you and get you to admit that you're racist, you said you weren't, but then you just said everyone's a little racist and racism isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Well, racism can be taught out of people.
Oh, interesting. So you think that whether or not a person is racist is a well, no, that's not true. That's just fact. No, that's
we just had this conversation.
Yes, and it was a conversation in which you were proven wrong. There is no evidence to suggest that babies are racist, only that babies have an initial aversion towards things which are unfamiliar to them, which will include people of different skin tone. That's not what racism is. When people say you're racist, you aren't saying, hey, you get anxious around people with a different skin tone. That's not really what we're suggesting.
That's not what I hear.
What do you hear? Why don't you tell me more about you, my friend? Mr. Not Racist, but everyone is racist a little bit, and racism isn't even necessarily a bad thing.
Like I just told you, people can be taught out of racism, but like the lefts of America, they just believe anything. Like, take for example Liam Neeson. I don't think he's a racist. It's just that was what he was feeling at the time.
Let's not pivot here.
But the culture that has just been perpetrated by people on Twitter and other parts of society are saying he's a racist now, even though he's not.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. I'm not interested in pivoting. We had an original talking point that we were getting to. So Ben Shapiro said there is no racism in America. You have already admitted that there is racism, just that it's not institutional. Now, let me ask you something. What do you consider institutional racism to be?
Laws that are systematically designed to oppress certain people.
Okay, that would be
minorities.
That would be legal racism. Institutional racism is racism which is expressed through institutions. The police.
Okay, but institutions have to follow laws. Police have to follow our laws and the commandments that they put forth.
For one, that's not necessarily the case, and for two, there is plenty of, let's say, executive discretion that can be exercised when enforcing those laws, such that you can enact prejudice. There have been multiple reports that have been done by federal agencies, like neutral, unbiased parties trying to understand the motions within American institutions, that have determined that several police forces in America are heavily racially biased. Not only on the books biased, as in they have discriminatory policies against black people, but also that they would, for the same crime, exonerate a white man but incarcerate a black man, that they would aggressively target black neighborhoods deliberately.
Well, but that's, I mean, sentences is based on past statistics.
Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on, my friend. I didn't say anything about past statistics, nor about a response to...
based on how people sentence, they're basing it off of past statistics and just...
Wait, what do you mean by that? Wait. If a white man and a black man, who both get arrested for the same crime, and both have no prior crime, and the white man, on average, gets exonerated more often than the black man, what is that if not racism?
That's not true. Poor whites also get treated the same.
Listen, I understand if you're uncomfortable with the facts, but there is an overwhelming sociological, legal, political science, anthropological, and psychological consensus on this. This is literally fact. I can't really argue with conspiracy if you would like to ignore it. There is overwhelming evidence that the judicial system discriminates against African Americans.
Okay, maybe in the past, but I'm
no.
talking about
These are
America.
The most recent study that I've seen came from 2016. Are you suggesting that over the past 3 years, this institutional discrimination has been obliterated?
When was it published? In 2016.
Yes. Do you want me to? I'm not.
I said, when was it published in 2016?
You mean which month?
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest with you, my friend. I don't remember which month it was published in. What is that?
And you don't believe there's a correlation between all of these? I mean, just like the Southern Poverty Law Center, just like this inherent.
You're pivoting again. You're dancing away.
I'm not pivoting. I'm telling you that these statistics are biased.
Oh, okay. So the statistics that are corroborated from federal sources are biased. I don't know what this has to do with the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's not as though they were the ones doing the research.
They contribute to the statistics.
Wait, how does the Southern Poverty Law Center contribute to statistics about black incarceration?
We're not talking about black incarceration.
What are we talking about? And what does the SPLC have to do with it?
We're talking about when these statistics are published and how they might be falsified. Really, I mean,
these haven't been falsified.
We're not going to sit here and act like this talking point that more hate crimes are being perpetrated ever since Trump was elected.
You're dancing away. You're dancing away. You're pivoting, my friend. I never said anything.
We're talking about statistics.
I never said anything about Trump. I said that federal analysis has unilaterally determined that there is bias against African Americans in the judicial system and, in many cases, in the policing system. This had nothing to do with the SPLC. Do you think that the FBI is full of like libcucks who are trying to like oppress the white race?
Have you seen the Mueller investigation?
I don't know. Are you a dancer?
I'm not dancing. You just asked me a question.
And you didn't answer. I asked you a yes/no question.
I did. There's an inherent bias in everybody. So like you don't believe that those text messages between those two FBI officers talking about how Hillary should have won. You don't believe those type of people aren't still there. It's just those two were exposed. There is a systematic bias to the left.
So you do believe
the FBI right now.
So you do believe that the FBI is headed by leftists who are falsifying information to
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, hold on, my friend.
$26 million
you realize.
on the Mueller report.
Shh, my friend.
Do you not realize that?
It's okay. I know you're mad. It's okay. Don't worry. Listen, I understand you're mad right now, but this has nothing to do with the Mueller report. This has everything to do with federal investigations into the American judiciary. Are you saying, this is a yes/no question, are you saying that the FBI is left-wing or biased against white people and falsified the statistical evidence that they corroborated from independent sources within the judicial institutions they were investigating?
How about they name the independent sources, and we can decide if those independent sources are biased or not.
The independent sources were the judges and courthouses that filed the information.
You don't think judges can be biased?
Oh no, I do think judges can be biased. That's what I'm asking you about. They're biased against black people. The evidence suggests this. So let me tell you then. If
not lately.
No, okay, unless you think that something has magically changed in between 2016 and 2019. Do you think that Trump has brought about a utopia for black people?
Do you think a Mexican judge can decide on border policies?
You're really bad, man. God, fuck. What did you major in college? Was it interpretive dance? Because you're painting a story with these pivots you're doing. You're just twirling away. I'm trying to hold you down, my friend. Do you believe that the FBI is biased against white people or biased towards the left when they release investigatory reports on the judicial sentencing rates of American institutions?
No. What I'm saying is these independent sources.
Oh, okay.
That
like
they
the
are
courthouses.
Talking to,
the courthouses.
That
okay.
they are biased and they are for the left.
Okay.
And
okay.
We need unbiased judges in our system, and I think that's what Trump is really going for.
Okay, cool. Nice. I'm glad that
I'm
glad
that
you finally answered
balance
my
between
question.
conservative and liberal judges.
The only balance we
need to talk to.
The only balance we need between those two groups of judges is the balance one would find at the end of a plank before the conservative judges are toshed into chummy waters. Listen, my friend. So you agree then that the FBI has not been biased. So here's a follow-up question. Why exactly are the judges and courthouses that corroborate the evidence the FBI did a meta-analysis on biased in favor of the liberals? So are you saying then that they convicted white people just as often as black people, but then they wrote down a few extra black convictions so that when the FBI did their analysis 20 years later, it would show that they were racist against black people, which would own the libs? What do you think? I'm trying to follow your logic here. I think you're actually on the cusp of breaking this whole thing open. I just need a little bit more from you.
Okay. So the ATF deals more with poor whites than they do with any other race. And things like inner city judges deal with more
white
blacks
people
because
there are more poor white people than there are poor black people because there are more white people than black people in America.
Okay, but the ATF are targeting these are assigned to these very open, very rural places, and these judges that I'm pretty sure they were talking to are mostly dealt with inner cities. So of course you're going to have more black people in inner cities. That's just how it happens.
Interesting. What does this have to do with the argument we were having?
The argument is that these judges were biased, or at least a few of them. You're going to tell me these judges aren't biased?
Do you think the judges are the ones that report the records of who gets convicted or not? Or do you think that has to do with a really large number of paralegals and judiciary clerks and secretaries who keep that information?
Do you think the FBI ever talked to any ATF agents about crime statistics in the rural areas?
What does this have to do with the argument?
Because we need a balance of independent sources.
Wait, what does the ATF have to do with the FBI doing a meta-analysis?
Because the ATF deal more with rural areas. So of course they're going to deal with more poor. We're going to deal with more poor whites.
What does this have to do with the cities where they did their meta-analyses? Listen,
these cities have more black people. That shouldn't
affect.
These cities have more concentrate. Yes, so more black people means more crime in those areas.
Listen. Are you? I'm not trying to be rude here. Are you college educated?
That has nothing to do with it.
Well, it does, because you're demonstrating to me a very basic misunderstanding of statistical. I'm a sociologist, which means that statistics was the math core. I had to take several high-level statistics courses. So I can tell you that you're being aggressively stupid right now. For one, not only does the ATF arrest people and then send them to judges, they don't actually process the judiciary themselves, or the judiciary process themselves, but moreover...
Okay, but they have to report the arrest, right?
We're not talking about arrests. We're talking about sentencing. Ooh, you're pivoting. We're talking about sentencing.
That's not a pivot.
It is.
You're saying the ATF would have no idea of of how these people are convicted, but they would, because they would have to conclude the case.
I said nothing like that. listen to me. Please listen carefully, okay? If we are in a city, okay, that is mostly black, let's say we're in Detroit, all right? And then it has been found, broadly speaking, over a course of several decades, that if you take two men, a white man and a black man, and you have them commit the same crime, and they have the same number of priors, both of them are, this is the first crime they've committed, the judges are more likely to find, or the jury, I should say, the process, is more likely to find the white man not guilty and the black man guilty.
Because based on the crime statistics that are taking place in Detroit.
No. Listen, the same crime committed by both of them.
Yes, and based on these prior histories, they're gonna take the prior statistics into account. I'm not.
So wait, No, wait, is that true? Wait, so when the jury is deciding whether or not a black man should be convicted of a crime, they think black people commit more crime, therefore we should sentence this person?
I'm talking about in these cities, the statistics. You brought Detroit, so I'm pretty sure I don't even have to look, but black people committed more crimes in Detroit than white people. Let's be
honest. Again, you're dancing away. One black man, one white man. Both of them have committed one crime. Neither of them have priors. The black man is more likely to be sentenced for the same crime. This has nothing to do with the total number of black or white people that go in through this system. This has everything to do with the likelihood of any individual black or white man.
Dude, I'm so confused why you don't understand.
I know it's really tough.
Don't understand what I'm trying to say here.
All right.
What I'm trying to say.
Hold on. Wait. Really quickly before you continue. I just got bored. Do you want to do a 10-second outro to the stream? I won't talk over you.
10-second outro of what?
10-second outro to the stream. You know.
Okay. What? You know what? Whatever, dude. You can go live in your.
And I banned him mid-sentence. All right, that was pretty fun. All right, that was pretty fun. Yeah, don't we have a... Yeah, you guys were all saying that he's a troll, but you have to understand that there are people who are unironically like this. That's not a joke. I know it's easy to say troll because we feel insulated against that level of stupidity, but that's like an actual thing. It's a for real thing. Am I from California? Yeah, I'm from California. All right. And now he's even more radicalized? Don't worry, friend, so am I. All right. Okay, let's get back to Ben Shapiro, huh? I don't know. When I make this into a YouTube video, I don't know if I'm going to clip this out or if I'm going to keep it. All right. Let's get to it. Leftist tech support. I really appreciate you providing evidence over the course of that, but that guy was below evidence. Like that guy was like maybe like 60 or 70 IQ points below the point where I would need to like start citing evidence. All right, let's I did have to look up what the ATF was though. Leftist tech support. I actually didn't know that, so thank you for throwing that one my way. Let's fucking do it. Oh wait, I promised my partner a hug. She's quivering after that one. Gets real aroused seeing me ban chuds. Nuke it was not good, you just let him spew his propaganda? I don't think that's true. Everything he said was pretty blatantly stupid. Well, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Hold on one second. Psychosomatist, I can't help the fact that most Ben Shapiro fans are really stupid. Hold on. All right. Wait, is Sophie not already modded here? Sophie? Oh. Sophie's not modded here. Okay. We're already getting too many fucking mods. Hold on. Hold on one second. Let me do something really quick. Okay. I also have to piss really quickly. I'll be right back, okay? Then we'll continue with the Ben Shapiro video. Guys, for your benefit, I peed so fucking fast. I didn't even take off my fucking underwear or like pull it down or anything. I just fucking leaned over the toilet and fired off, just blasted it out there. And it just sort of trickled through. It got filtered, you know? You know how it is. Did you No, fuck off. Washed hands? No, I don't wash my fucking hands after I piss, because I'm not a bitch baby. Mouse collective civic knocks. You ever wash your hands? You save. What is wrong with you people? Why the fuck should I have to wash my hands? Because for 8 seconds, the tip of my fucking right middle and fucking index finger touched my penis. My penis is clean. What the fuck do you want from me? You're all disgusting. I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your shit. Do you like fuck? Do you like not wash your dick? Do you just grind your fingertip into your smegma and then? You all are fucking disgusting. This is your chuddiest take. You all are fucking disgusting. I think very little of all of you. Oh yeah, that background noise. I fucking love it. Sorry. Oh yeah. Just fill the stream audio with your greasy fucking braps, why don't you?
I wanted to make sure I didn't forget something.
Yeah. All right, Ben Shapiro. I agree with you though. Trendy Mirror, thank you. I love you. Why are you so passionate about the aversion to doing it? Because I love you guys, all right? And the difference in time between me going and taking a quick piss, then me going and taking a piss, and then washing my hands, and then drying my hands, it's like literally a factor of 2. Yeah, leftist tech support. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I do appreciate you throwing my links my way. Has the West... Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Out. You're all disgusting. All this does is tell me that you have no fucking idea how to clean your penis. All right, we were watching Benjamin Shippey. Let's fucking do it. Come on.
Dogs or something. I'm talking about human beings, and I'm like, human beings are most likely going to have racial prejudices. I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry. I don't know. I don't come from I come from planet Earth.
Charles, I want to ask you a question. So you're
this guy, this British black guy, or I assume he's British. I don't know. Welsh, fucking, I don't know. Really, really, really bad rhetoric from this person. Jesus Christ, really bad rhetoric. He literally just said, like, I don't know, people are racist. I don't know, I live on Earth. This is not a good way to convince an audience that is hostile to you. Am I circumcised? Yes. Can you explain why affirmative action is good? Affirmative action is not an ideal program. I would not consider it to be an ethical program if we go by like an idyllic system, but it does minimize the harm caused by racism in society, or at least it works to lessen it. It's very complicated, and I'll have to get into it later. Who do you think had better arguments, me or the guy you just debated? Bunny Mewtwo. Both of you are wrong, but Bunny Mewtwo, you were obviously leagues ahead of that person. Like obviously, that guy was incredibly stupid.
Your default is that when there is no evidence, racism is the deciding factor. That is
No, I was not saying that. I'm just saying that you're going to have sexists, you're going to have racists, you're going to have all this stuff. I mean, I'm just saying that.
I agree it exists, but the problem that I'm seeing, and this is.
Wait, he just said I agree that it exists. Wait, what? I thought little Ben just said that that there was no racism in America, and now he says he agrees that it exists. Let's see where he takes this one.
The problem with the general conversation is that there's no solution in simply saying there's racism out there. How does that solve anything?
Have you ever heard the phrase, the first step to solving a problem is to acknowledge its existence? This is a pretty well-known saying, little Ben. Yeah. What the fuck is he saying? So he's saying, like, so what if there's racism? How does acknowledging it solve anything? Benjamin. Ben, my friend, if there are problems in society that are caused by racism, you can't fix those problems without acknowledging the fact that racism is causing those problems.
I mean, when you talk about there's institutional racism, what does that mean? Show me a law that is racist in intent, and we will agree. Show me a police officer who commits a racist act like we saw in South Carolina, right, where a police officer shot a black man running away and it was obviously unjustified, and I will agree.
Wait, he said, show me this example, and then he cites an example, and I'll agree. What? Hey, listen, he says, approaching this man with the hammer. If you can find me one example of a white man beating up a black man with a hammer, I'll agree with you, as he begins to arc his hand downward. What? Okay. Oh, hey, Mods. Mods, this is your job. There we go. That's what I like to see. Is Ben smart? I thought he was stupid. Is Ben stupid? I thought he was smart but dishonest. No. Ben is smart. This is just the kind of rhetoric that appeals to conservatives, because conservatives are generally stupid.
But you need the idea that you can craft a narrative based on no racism because it just must be somewhere out there in the ether.
Again, a complete and total straw man. Nobody is saying that people craft narratives of racism with no evidence. There is an enormous amount of evidence that racism exists. I'm sure Ben would fucking dispute the evidence, naturally. This is very dishonest framing on his part, because he's saying, like, hey, there's no evidence, but if you provided me some, I'll accept it, rather than what is actually the case, that there is evidence of racism, and Ben disputes the shit out of it and fails to acknowledge it. What he's presenting himself as this sort of, like, honest patrician of logic who will just accept the evidence as it comes, and you just haven't provided any evidence, so I'm sorry, I can't believe you, rather than somebody who is ideologically opposed to acknowledging the existence of racism, who has seen evidence to the existence of racism and has fought vehemently to disprove it or to deny its legitimacy.
That doesn't solve problems for anybody and creates more problems for people because now they grow up in a milieu and an environment where they are told that every obstacle they face is from some shadowy, nameless, faceless group who's out to get them simply because of the color of their skin.
Nobody says this. Also, this is the same thing that idiots say about the patriarchy. They pretend that when people talk about the patriarchy, they're talking about like this, like a shadow organization of like snickering men up at the top of society who are like cackling in a big boardroom with low lighting, so you can just barely see their faces, silhouetted over the table. And what if we prevented women from entering the STEM fields? And they present it as though that's what feminists are saying when they talk about the patriarchy, which is obviously a ludicrous and conspiratorial suggestion. That's the same thing that Benjamin is portraying right now, right here in this argument. Of course, nobody actually says that, and nobody actually believes that. Nobody thinks that there's some fucking shadow cabinet, some fucking 18th Hokage that is secretly promoting a racist agenda from the shadows of America. It's just that a lot of people are fucking racist. A lot of those people of institutional power, that shit tends to influence how they, execute or wield their power.
We'll never succeed in that environment.
The weirdest thing is that actually in the black home, as I experienced it, really, there is no discussion of racism. Racism actually is a discussion that you actually come out and you face in the public because it's a real thing that you have to actually expect. I mean,
I can't speak to this guy's claims, obviously.
If you're silly and you're foolish if you don't really think that that's going to be there and encountered in the real world. I'm sorry, this is just a fact of life. But if I'm at home and having dinner with my father or whatever, we don't go, oh my God, this society is so racist as I'm eating my steak, and you know what I mean? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, I can't bear it. My black skin's causing. I mean, no, we don't talk like that. Actually, we don't talk like that. We talk about, my God, Aunt, what's her name? Oh my God, she's got to take some pills because she's off the register. I mean, it's just like these are the conversations we have.
Is this guy a comedian? He's talking like a comedian, not like a news pundit. How did a fucking beard hair get in my mouth? Get the fuck out of there, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's not really talking like a news pundit or like a political or social representative.
At home. We don't have these kinds of conversations that we're having right now. At least in my childhood, we didn't have them. And I'm watching the people I knew growing up in the black neighborhood, I didn't hear anybody really talking about race when we were at the dinner table. I mean, just...
Well, no. Don't ban Chris Knox. Chris Knox is memeing. Don't ban Chris Knox. Yeah, Civic Knox.
Didn't really pop up unless it was an issue was on television, but mostly it was about family and regular life.
But I disagree. I have to tell you, even in my culture, there is an underlying racism. And I know that the panel today, and especially with what's going on in America, we're talking about white on black. But I cannot wake up in the morning and not think about, intercultural racism, okay? I'm not Mexican enough. Why? Because
I love it. I love listening to conservatives talk about race. Listen to this lady, her and Ben Shippey. Racism doesn't exist. There's no institutional racism in America. Find me some racism and I'll prove it. The lady speaks up. There is racism. And it's the Mexicans. The Mexicans are telling me I'm not Mexican enough. Listen, for realsies, really quick. You know why black kids bully other black kids for being like too white? Or Mexicans bully other Mexicans for being too white? The reason is that because black people and Mexican people and other racial minorities in this country have are institutionally oppressed, and for that reason they form insular identities that are defined in large part around solidarity and resistance against the oppressive forces they live under. And if you are living in that system and you see a friend of yours or whatever, or just some like kid in the neighborhood being like kind of too white, sometimes you may look at that and you may think like, fuck, they're gonna be one of those like kind of race traitory kinds, like they're gonna they're like sucking up to the white man. We're trying to do our best out here, standing up for one another, repping our culture, repping our brotherhood. And this motherfucker over here is trying to take the easy way out by just acting white. Now, I'm painting this is a very like vague and simplified, because I'm white, so I grew up white, and this is just what I've heard from other people, and I'm just giving a very briefly distilled interpretation of what they have told me. And this is a problem, and it is a shitty thing to do. Given the fact that this woman is a conservative and she's standing up here on stage next to Ben Shapiro, who probably unironically thinks that like Mexicans need to be fucking thrown, like yeeted back over the border, back into Mexico. I feel like she maybe is kind of a traitor to the interest of her oppressed constituency, just a little bit. Just a smidgen, just a little bit. But nonetheless, it is a thing. But for her to say like the only racism that exists is racism of Mexican people telling me I'm too white is obviously an nonsensical framing.
I'm articulate, and because I have straight hair and I can wear high heels. I don't have a tattoo on my neck. Yes, there is a huge problem with racism.
Really? Do you think this woman has actually gotten shit for not having a tattoo on her neck? Do you think this woman who was like growing up and she was like 12 or 13 or something, and some guy, what do they call them, cholos? Is that a racist term? I hope not. I just mean like just like a young kind of like urban Hispanic youth comes up like, hey lady, you have brownish skin, but where's your neck tattoo? And he points at his neck too, which says MS-13. Where's your neck tattoo? And the lady says, I don't believe in neck tattoos. I believe in good work ethic and getting a job. And then the fucking guy fucking pulls out a gat and he's like, not around here. You ain't going white on me, are you? Like, what the fuck? It's funny because she talks about racism against her, but then she frames it in a racist way. Listen to how she describes it.
Okay, I'm not Mexican enough. Why? Because I'm articulate. And
because you're articulate. What makes you less Mexican? In what way can you differentiate yourself from being Mexican? Oh, being articulate? Why not just go the full way, lady? What differentiates you from the Mexican identity? Well, I'm intelligent. I'm not subhuman. My skull shape, it has the bumps necessary to facilitate higher cognitive function. I would say that in those ways, I'm not very Mexican, because they are, of course, less than me.
I have straight hair and I can wear high heels. I don't have a tattoo on my neck.
Same. Tattoo on neck is pretty heavily associated with low income and criminality.
Yes, there is a huge problem with racism, no matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. Absolutely, there is intercultural racism. It's absolutely underlying. And why you may not talk about it, your grandmother will have the favorite grandkid. If she's the lightest one with the good hair, that becomes the favorite grandkid in our culture. And that's, unfortunately, even within our own cultures, we tend to look upon, the color of each other's skin and how much education we have. And
cynic, that's not a good point. I don't think she's saying that's the criticism she's getting from other Mexicans. Yeah, and I'm telling you that she's being disingenuous because she's saying that she got shit for not having a neck tattoo. Listen, she must have grown up in a pretty fucking hardcore Hispanic community for them to have given her shit for not having a fucking neck tattoo. And if that's not the thing, if she didn't actually get targeted for that, if she wasn't actually given shit for that, then why bring it up here? I'll say it. She's a race traitor. Cholo isn't racist. Hispanics like that become successful. Sometimes do what they want to remove their culture and race, basically just blend in. I mean, yeah, black people do that too, right? There were a lot of like conservative kind of fucking chuddy people of color in this country who, once they've made it, do everything they can to disassociate themselves from their racial identity to try and blend in with the whites so they can get like head pats for being like one of the good ones. You know how it is.
If my uncle has done time in jail, which, you know, he has, then he becomes more Mexican than I am. What is up with that? I mean, it's sad, but it's true. It's absolutely true. It's like I can't eat spicy picante sauce, so I'm not Mexican enough. You know, it's true, you know, in every...
Leftist tech support. As someone who just spoke up on this issue, can you confirm that Hispanic youth are told they're not Hispanic because they haven't gone to jail? I would love to... Please.
Culture, whether it's Asian, you know, black, Mexican, there is, while you may not have grown up talking about it over your, you know, tea and toast.
Thank you, leftist tech support.
I mean, in my family, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, you're not Jewish.
You're not Jewish enough. It's true.
That part is true. This entire time, I've been trying to think about your initial question about disparities. Are they automatically tied to race? And at first, I think all of us were stumped because we were trying to think of the instances. I do agree that they are separate, that they don't necessarily correlate within itself. There are disparities. NAACP, we are the experts inside of the nation of bringing in the racial lens for all of the work. No, they're not necessarily going hand in hand, or they're not necessarily tied to each other.
This frustrates me so much. This is not the kind of rhetoric you need to engage in when talking to people like Benjamin Shapiro. It's really frustrating when I see these like debates, because I know for a fact that whoever Ben is talking to is going to do a worse job representing their points than I could. I'm not trying to like dunk on this lady or whatever, because you need like hardcore fucking rhetorical training to be able to respond to the dishonest reactionary tactics that people like Ben use.
So that's how I would answer it. No, they don't have to go together. My job as a civil rights attorney is to be able to make you see race at every given opportunity, but no, it's not present in each and every single disparity. To your second...
What are the standards? What are the standards of the difference? I mean, you said that you want people to see race in every single issue.
This was a really bad point on her part. The optics on this are terrible, because Ben literally just said that that these fucking lefties, they see race everywhere. That's their default assumption. They see racism everywhere. And obviously that's not true. And then this lady says it's her job to help people see race in everything. That's really bad framing. That's so fucking bad for optics. She should have said like, yeah, I'm an attorney. I'm a civil rights attorney. So it's my job to acknowledge the the misfortune, the discrimination that my clients experience, and overwhelmingly that discrimination statistically points to the existence of racism, both institutional and interpersonal, which is levied against them. I'm sorry, Mr. Benjamin over here has not been fully familiarized with the facts concerning this, but an overwhelming synthesis of evidence compiled by the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You have to hit them. You cannot do this namby-pamby like, ooh, I'm going to be a super professional debater here. I'm going to be really nice so nobody can accuse me of getting angry and talking. No. You have to go hard. You have to intimidate. You have to disconcert. You have to put the burden on them, because right now the burden has been placed on the two fucking the two left-leaning debaters here, and one of them just made a point that reinforced the lie that Ben Shapiro told.
Where it's present. Where it's present.
Okay,
so for instance, if we're
what's
talking,
your standard as to where it's present?
Absolutely. What's my take something as simple as a if we're talking about a disparity, say men and women. My job would be to show what does that look like when you have women from a different group, communities of color. What does it look like when we're talking about a woman who's working or stuck in a minimum wage job, not as a starter, but for her career.
Right. No, I guess the question I'm asking.
Again, this is super fucking bad. She's trying to do like this nuance. I'm sure this woman has a well-respected history and is good at her profession and stuff, but you can't be describing it in ways that would appeal towards the interests of somebody who's taking your arguments at a good faith value. She needs to be like, Ben's like, what's the standard used to apply for race? And then she'll be like, well, generally speaking, people come to me, or I look for people, and they either say, or I examine or acknowledge the existence of racial disparities as they apply to the situation that I am looking to represent for them in the courts. And then I say, okay, how can I prove, or how can I determine whether or not this was racially motivated? So I use I take their personal incident, and I relate it to a conglomeration of data that I have pre-built, which or pre-assembled, which allows me to determine something like that. It needs to be hard-hitting. It needs to be factually based. It needs to be something that people in the audience can go like, okay, well, she has a rigorous standard. You know, she doesn't just see racism everywhere. She has clients, and then she sees and hears out their claims, and then she compares those claims to a broader, existing, statistically falsifiable database to determine the validity of those claims as they pertain to race. That is a much better way of going about this. I'm curious, do you think that sexism plays a greater disparity in sentencing than race in the U.S. courts? I don't want to play like oppression Olympics. Women definitely get off more than men do, particularly for violent crime in the courts. But I wouldn't say it's necessarily worse than like the black and white disparity. They're caused by two completely separate things. Like the black and white disparity is caused by people thinking that like black people are too fucking violent and like shitty and subhuman or whatever. And the male-female disparity is because people paternalistically, patronizingly assume that women can do no harm. It's different, and it's different kinds of bigotry.
Like, and so we bring in the racial dynamic of how that affects.
No, I understand that. The question that I'm asking is, when do you decide something racist has occurred?
Racist?
Yes. When can you decide that an act of racism has occurred? Because if you have just a statistical disparity, has an act of racism automatically occurred? That was David's basic question, I think.
Right. There's obviously there might be there will be a disparate impact on different groups of people. That doesn't necessarily mean, I think what you're saying is, doesn't necessarily mean something racist is going on, even though there's a racial impact. So
wait, the video is about to end?
Where do you draw the line between something that might have a racial impact but is not inherently racist? Yeah. Let me move on.
Okay. That was an incomplete fucking video. Ben Shapiro smacks down Black Lives Matter. It has nothing to do... Jesus Christ. Fucking really? For one, Black Lives Matter, I don't even think was mentioned by name once over the entirety of this debate, and nothing in this video was a smackdown. Like fucking obviously. This was published, by the way, by Ben Shapiro's own YouTube account. This isn't some, like, cringy fan channel. This is Ben Shapiro himself throwing it out there. No part 2? Nope. This is cringy as fuck, by the way. Ben Shapiro types out, Ben Shapiro smacks down BLM. I guess I do that in my video titles, but when I do it, it's ironic, okay? Also, when I do it, it's true. You know? Well, what are you gonna do?